I believe that the fires we're cast upon are the flames we shall become. I believe in a common calling where our temples pray as one. I believe in the word of wonder and a kingdom for the saved.
Larry Pollock here with Luke Carroll and Hella Trevino. Leo is already in Columbus, Ohio. I am leaving at basically midnight tonight. I have a 5 a.m. flight out of LAX. I have to be there at 3 a.m. So no sleep tonight for me.
Probably not.
What time are you leaving?
My flight is at 5, so I got to be at the airport by 3. So I'm probably going to leave here like 1:30.
Yeah.
How long is the flight?
And I have one like 50-minute layover somewhere. It's like 7 hours. So I actually get in at 2:30 Columbus time. And then the meet and greet thing starts at 7. So I have enough time to get to the hotel, probably take a quick shower, change clothes, and go straight there with no sleep. So that's exciting.
If you're lucky, maybe you'll get an hour.
Sleep?
Power nap. Power nap.
I don't know.
We'll
I
see.
don't know.
Well, it's going to be exciting for sure. Lots of great athletes. So
yeah, and a big storyline behind it.
yeah.
So let's jump into it. This is Arnold week, and lots of stuff is going on. We've been talking about all the stuff with Hadi, and that's obviously big news worldwide. And I still have him as a favorite going in. I know people are saying that, all of this stuff, his losing his Evogen contract and all the people out against him, and, with everything going on.
When you're a champion, it's like the more resistance you get, the stronger you get, the more determined you get. Like an athlete like that caliber, it's like there's nothing that can get you up from the chair. Then when you meet resistance, hardship, you get even like more determined. Like he's got a lot to prove now. I think he's gonna come in diced.
I don't think this is gonna hurt him physique wise. I think it might push him to get even better.
I think so too. He's got that kind of mentality.
Not only that, but it's all on the line for him. He has all this to prove.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's going to be between Hadi and Andrew in my book. What do you say, Luke?
I mean, typically, yeah. I think Hadi is definitely a champion, and I do think what you're saying is you dig in deeper, but his whole life he's not really probably going to go home. If he's smart, what he'll do is try to claim asylum and live in the United States because he has a legitimate asylum claim. So, so he has like a lot of like future stuff on his mind. I mean, bad stuff happens and you kind of really dig in if you're a champion, but this is like a whole life-changing possibility for him for the next, going forward in the future. So it definitely could affect him. I think what it does is it gives it where there's the possibility of Nick or of Martin, Andrew, or Hadi being the champion. Prior to this, it was probably just Hadi walking away with it. But, I think that it opens the door for any one of those three to be in there.
Well, it's really just, they all have the chance, really. Like, it's going to come down to, who's really nailing the conditioning, the fullness, the total package.
And I've heard from people in Tampa that Andrew has been cheating on his diet. So
insider knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has had in the past problems coming in will shop. You know, we haven't
And
really
I
seen
think
that yet.
I think that's why I heard about him getting caught eating Snickers before a show, and cheating on his diet. And so I think that his not coming in sharp isn't because of it's hard for him to come in sharp. I think it's hard for him mentally to be able to come in sharp. And he's gotten better, which maybe because I mean, think about it. He's only really been like professional bodybuilder. He went straight to the top. Like he won his pro card. He won his first show. He went to the Olympia. So he's kind of like jumping the stuff that all of us went through. Like, oh my God, Mr. Olympia, go to the like expos and do all the things. He just kind of like jumped over all of the like bodybuilding education stuff. So I don't know if it's necessarily like been his dream or desire to be Mr. Olympia. So now he's like getting the bug more and more as it seems like as time goes on, but it seems like it's difficult for him to lock in.
Well, sometimes it can also be mental, like, you know, like the stress, the pressure of being your best to perform, the fans' expectations, your own expectation. That can sometimes, it's not, I'm just saying it's not always, it's like because, oh, this athlete lacks discipline. Sometimes they have the discipline, but they just kind of fold under the pressure. So I don't know if that's the case.
Here's how I see Andrew. There's bodybuilders who, okay, for me, example, at 12 years old, I read the book Arnold, Education of a Bodybuilder, and I knew I wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. And I was all into it, 100%. Like by 13, I was training as hard as I could and giving everything I could to bodybuilding. Andrew was already working as an engineer. He was just a guy lifting weights. I don't think he even knew what bodybuilding was. Larry Wheels discovered him in a gym somewhere.
In Dubai.
In Dubai. He just came across him and it's like, wow, this guy. And he talked him into bodybuilding. He said, you have genetics. You should do this. And he does have probably maybe the best genetics of anybody. But I don't think mentally he's not a bodybuilder in his head from the beginning. His genetics has taken him to this level for the most part. And it's not like, it's not even a lacking discipline thing. It's just, he never had the dream of being a Mr. Olympia. As time has gone on and he's improved, he's probably got more, invested into it. And he knows he has potential because everybody's told him and he's won shows. And he's placed third in the last Olympia. And he knows he can make a lot of money. But I don't think deep down inside in his heart that he really is 150% bodybuilder. He's like, okay, this is a thing that I'm doing. And then when the diet gets really hard and the training gets really hard, I've seen over the years so many people with the genetic potential. Look at Paul Dillette. Paul Dillette should have been multiple time Mr. Olympia. Why wasn't he? He had the best genetics of anybody, probably maybe in history. The guy head to toe did not have a weak body part. He was huge everywhere, shredded, but mentally he just wasn't all in it.
Another one is Victor Richards.
Victor was way not in it. But Victor was.
I would also say Chris Cormier. Chris Cormier, he should have won Mr. Olympia at some point, but he loved to party.
I think there's something when you have too good of genetics and it's too easy for you, you kind of don't get that bug to really like dig in deep and push. And sometimes you get it. Like we saw it with Ronnie Coleman. We saw it with Phil Heath. They had the supreme genetics and they dug in and they just were, they became, multiple time Mr. Olympias. But I think that some of the guys that we were saying could have definitely been Mr. Olympias if they had the bug, the ability to have the genetics and to get really dug into it.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with like that Andrew doesn't want to be Mr. Olympia or some of the other athletes.
I'm not saying he doesn't
wanna-
want to. I'm just saying some of the other athletes want it more, and they're not
Yeah.
cheating on diets in order to get there.
I think also just some people like doesn't have the mentality. It doesn't matter if we're talking about professional athletes or we're talking about regular people reaching their goals and dreams, no matter if it's business or owning a business or getting an education. Some people they don't have that backbone. They don't have that mental drive. I think just as we can say there's a physique genetic and there's a mental genetic.
Apparently he's already makes an insane living. Aside from his sponsors and everything, I think he's an engineer.
Yeah,
so he had like a career and he has a company that makes him enough money. So like this bodybuilding thing is like his kind of, side project. So I think for him, maybe for somebody like Hadi was like a goat farmer. He had to do it, or he just was like a goat farmer. He didn't get to go his dreams. The same thing with Martin. I mean, Martin was framing houses, so he either had to like go 100% and become the pro bodybuilder that he is, or he would still be like doing that. Martin's very smart, and he went to like pharmacy school and stuff like that too. But like, I'm just saying, like they were like. They put it all on the line. I think that he already has like, if I don't win this, at least I'm still wealthy.
Yeah. I definitely think there's a correlation between like hardship and like, you know how to struggle, like you've had a harder life. I think that makes you more like, you're determined to succeed.
Yeah.
Like if you already have it good, you got the money, you got, like, what can you say? The urgency is not so much there.
Yeah. I think that can be like, if you already know where your next meal is coming from, you're not as hungry to go out and kill a deer or something for your next meal, like analogy.
Yeah.
Well, we saw it with Ramy. I mean, he did manage to win a couple of Olympias, but it was really hard for him to do the diet. Dennis James had to lock him down in a place and like monitor him 24/7 because he just was it was really hard for him to diet because mentally he just had a hard time doing it. I don't know if it's like harder for him to lose the fat and he had to just starve so much to get in shape, or if just mentally it's just harder. I don't know, but I do know Dennis James was saying how.
I think there's a factor also, especially for men. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of men are afraid to lose size. They don't like to look small. So once, some men, they start getting flat and, losing the volume and they're just afraid of like, I mean, I've heard it from athletes many times. It's like, oh, I look small. It's just
I have
afraid
a
I lost
client
some size.
right now. I've been dealing with this for a year, and he every time I see him, he tells me I feel small, and I'm like, so what? It doesn't matter. You need to be conditioned. You don't. It doesn't matter if you're smaller. You got to be conditioned. But I finally got it through his head. That he has enough size. He doesn't matter.
Being full is a great look, but you have to learn to be flat on diet.
What some of these guys don't really realize is they see the weight going down. You got to be the like tighter you get, the bigger you look. I mean, you might be look at some of the craziest ones. I mean, Sean Ray was under 200 pounds. Same with Lee Priest, and those are like the biggest, freakiest looking guys ever. I mean, like, they're shorter guys, but like they weren't the same as with Flex Wheeler. I mean, he was like 225 when he won the Arnold. So like he was just, those tiny joints. Those joints start to come in when you get rid of all the fat around your knees, your elbows, around your shoulders. They start to look, rounder, bigger. That's what they need to understand. Just getting into shape is going to make you look bigger. You might be smaller, and if you do get smaller, then you didn't have that size anyways. You're just
true.
like, you're saying like, oh, I want to stay fat so that I can look bigger. Like,
and I think also they have a misconception of how much they need to lose. Like if you're really off season, really watery and kind of fat, maybe you have 40, 50 pounds to lose. And they're like, oh, in 20 pounds, I'll be in shape. And I'm looking and I'm like, I don't think so.
Hey, I have a guy right now off season. He's 250 and he's humongous at 250, but he's going to compete as a light heavyweight. When all is said and done, he's going to be 198, right around there.
I mean, you can lose a lot of water. Like if you're off season full on carbs and you start dieting, I mean, there's a lot of water to come off. I mean, of course, fat as well, but it's just you can really carry a lot of water, especially the bigger you are. So it's.
But I think at this level that we're talking about, at the top of the world, especially with today, with people have to be peeled, shredded, and that's what you're dealing with, is getting like minus 3% body fat.
Yeah.
To win this Arnold, you've got Martin, who's going to be shredded probably completely.
He's got Hadi peeled,
shredded completely. Nick is probably going to be shredded completely. And Andrew has to be there too. And that's another level of conditioning that I don't think very few people ever go to, that level of conditioning. I mean, even among elite competitive bodybuilders, I don't think very many go to that level.
It's also often like, it sets the class. If there are many that are peeled, it's like if you don't come peeled, you're kind of outside, right? Then if everybody comes a little bit with a little bit more body fat, is like you can more easily come in there and gain points on your aesthetics.
Yeah, but at this level, this competition, I don't think there's any room for error.
No.
Anybody who's not 100% spot on is just going to get marked down.
Yeah, I agree.
So eating a couple extra Snickers bars, maybe that's not a big deal for most people, but that could be enough to make the difference between winning and taking fourth or third or whatever. So that can matter. But we're going to find out this weekend, and it is possible that he ate a couple Snickers bars and it doesn't affect him. But
yeah,
so far,
if you're peeled and you're lean and you only do it once, the problem is more like if you get away with it and you think, oh, I got away with it, and you do it again and you do it at one too many times, then all of a sudden, boom, it's over.
Well, just the fact that he's done it tells you right there he's probably done it more than once.
Is it reliable? A reliable source, Luke?
Yeah, Luke told me who told him, and yeah.
Okay.
Reliable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we
We'll
have Martin coming in. Now Luke had some inside information on Martin, but I gotta say, the last post, I want to pull it up on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I saw a picture of his quads. God damn.
Let me see. Martin Fitzwater. Here we go. I'm going to pull up some Instagram stuff on Martin right now. So here's some recent stuff on Martin. Let me see if I can find the one I'm looking for. This is a training thing. he's looking pretty damn full, and I don't know, the conditioning looks pretty crazy right there.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. I mean, but we're seeing him in just training shots. These aren't like posing, and they're
Well, he does have some.
They're obviously heavily edited because they're like artistic.
Well, check this one out.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, those quads look pretty gnarly right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty lean. They're fucking huge too.
Yeah, he's lean and he looks bigger.
Yeah,
he looks bigger than he has before. He looks really big. And
you know someone that I also think looks really good right now? Have you seen pictures of Brandao, Raphael Brandao? He looks really good.
Yeah. We'll pull him up in a minute. But look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that quad.
I mean, I have no doubt.
Striations and fullness.
I mean, if Martin is on, he jumps a lot of guys. I mean, he jumped into that Olympia a couple years ago, and what did he get? 4th place from being his first Olympia. So it's not out of the realm for him to jump a lot of guys if he's super impressive.
Well, in Prague, he was nutty. I mean, the conditioning was, I mean, it was, and he stood next to Samson, who outweighed him by God knows how much weight, 50 pounds.
Yeah, but it was kind of like not the best Samson. But I mean, it is impressive.
Samson was way off at the Olympia, but he was better in Prague than he was at the Olympia. And Martin did not look any smaller than Samson. He looked side by side. He looked just as big as Samson, even though Samson probably outweighs him by 50 pounds.
I think also Samson lost muscle in that process up to the Olympia.
I'm saying
he did.
They went too hard.
Prague Samson was a better version than he was at the Olympia. But I'm just saying size-wise, Martin looked just as big as Samson standing next to him. And the conditioning was obviously like way better. So I think size-wise, Martin can hang with Nick and Hadi and Andrew, and he has the conditioning. So I don't see why he could not beat those guys. I mean, I still think Hadi's a little bit ahead of him because of muscle maturity and graininess and a few other things, but I think it's close. And I don't see him out of the mix.
I mean, if Andrew is gonna be off, we're probably looking at Hadi and Fitz fighting.
I don't necessarily know if Andrew will be off, but I just don't know if he's going to be on enough to overtake a great Hadi.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's definitely possible. His genetics are off the fucking chain, and his structure is insane. So,
but what if Martin is like dead on and Andrew is a little off?
I think Martin can beat. I think Martin can beat Andrew. I mean, they've competed together. Martin, I don't think ever has beaten him, but I think the potential could be there. But I think he would have to be off, and then Martin, I think maybe he's a little bit more balanced. Like his lower body, his back's a little better, his hams are a little better. You know, he's getting in better shape. So those things might add up enough to overcome the size difference, and the structure difference isn't really too big because Martin has fantastic structure. So I think that what Andrew does is just overwhelms guys that are smaller than him because he's just so enormous. I mean, Martin is 5'7" and Andrew is 6'2".
That's crazy. Also, his span, like his arms are so long, like he just looks so huge on the stage.
His shoulders are like the size of basketballs. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I still think he's gonna be second. I do think Hadi is gonna have the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, we've never
think
really seen Hadi too off, no matter what.
Mm.
He's always had these visa issues and all this and that, and he's never been like
He's
been,
always on. I mean, you can
Yeah.
say 2%.
yeah, yeah. He's like when he's off, it's like 2 or 3%. Like
Yeah.
at the prejudging at the Olympia this year, he was like slightly off. So that maybe that's like him being off.
He was
is, like, in the
he
world.
was maybe 50, 100 grams of carbs off.
something we got to consider too is, who you stand next to makes a huge difference as far as like how you look up there. And you have Hadi and Martin and Nick that are pretty comparable as far as size, conditioning, height. They kind of have similar size features. And then you have Andrew, who's like the odd man out. He's way taller and way wider, which should be an advantage, but he's missing the glutes and the hamstrings to the level of development that those three have.
Yeah.
So when he's in a comparison with them, that's going to really stand out, is that he doesn't have that level of development in the glutes and hamstrings as the other three.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in the first call out, most likely. You're going to see that. And that's where he stands out. It's like, oh, he's missing those body parts.
Well, let's segue into that. What would maybe change that is if they put Raphael Brandao in that top 5 call out, the first call out, if it was, Hadi, Andrew, Martin, Nick, and Rafa, then there's 2 big guys that they can kind of compare if they're both like really good. Because Raphael, like his quads were looking insane, and he's got really pretty good structure.
He looks really good. I mean, I was just looking at some photos on his Instagram, like new, updated.
Yes.
Like he looks really good.
Yeah.
Very good symmetry, huge, good conditioning.
I'll pull him up right
in
now.
Top 5.
I don't know if I'm spelling it wrong or something, but I'm not finding him.
I think it's Brandao.
I think just type in
Brandao.
Are you on IG?
Yeah.
I think it's just Brandao.
That's what I have.
I usually pull it up by typing in Rafa, Rafa.
Let me see.
Rafa. Oh, here he is.
Oh, you found him?
All right. Yeah, I've got it. Let's see what we got here. The quads look pretty crazy right there, as far as like
Yep.
pretty deep
There's
separation,
also
pretty big.
There's a posing picture a little further down, full body.
Let's see. This one?
Yeah, I think that was no, not that one. It's a photo.
It's starting, honey.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks pretty wild right there.
Yeah.
How tall is he? Like 5'11"?
He's pretty tall.
There's a few more photos further down. One where he's kind of holding his hand on his waist.
I think they get old though. I think the further down you go, they get old.
That one was the one I thought. Wasn't that a few days ago? What does it say?
I don't see a date on it.
It usually says at the bottom of the text.
You know, I'm not sure. I don't see a date on this one.
Hmm.
But it is. I just don't think he has that like next level size and conditioning like the top.
Oh,
four.
that was the photo I was talking about. The one where you had his hand behind him.
I mean, he's a
This-
structure guy. He's
Yeah.
usually in that like kind of bottom 6 to 10 when he gets his Olympia qualifications. So he's
I mean,
yeah.
if we have Hadi and Andrew, Fitz, Nick, that would top 4. So if it's not Brandao, who else would be 5th?
You got Brandon Curry.
Ah, yeah. Brandon.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Brandon Curry.
Brandon probably wins on the top, but Brandao beats him on the legs.
On the legs. Yeah.
Brandon's
Yeah.
got big legs. He doesn't have bad legs. He just doesn't have any separation. His RF doesn't separate. You know,
Not so much separation and no dramatic sweeps.
Mhm. They're big. Like his adductors are like
Yeah,
enormous.
adductors that big,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have so much roundness on the outer. Like Brandao has a lot of sweep.
So I don't know. I feel like Brandon just doesn't have that level of size and conditioning of the top 4 competitors.
Well,
So
he's
I-
probably. I mean, I would say he probably got to be 5th or 6th. I think it's between
Yeah.
him and Brandon, who's gonna take whoever brings the best conditioning and look for the day.
Now we haven't really talked about Nick. So Nick Walker, I mean, he has something to prove here, because you know he got that 6th place at the Olympia, and I don't really see any updates from Nick as far as like
No,
I
he's
don't know how
hiding.
recent this is.
Everything is with a hoodie on. I tried to peek.
Well, I don't know when was this taken.
I think that's an old. That's like
that's an old
one of his old prep photos.
Yeah,
Um,
there's nothing new.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
wearing a number, so that's like an old Olympia or something.
He's in hiding.
So
I
he's
also
not really
checked his
showing.
story. I saw his diet face on story. He looks pretty, pretty death face, but I'm sure he's gonna come conditioned. So I think he could snatch 4th.
Well, if he comes looking like he did in, if he comes looking like he did in Pittsburgh last year, if he somehow pulls that together, and if Martin or Andrew is not 100% on, I think he challenges Hadi because he has crazy size, and when he is in condition, he is peeled.
He's got crazy
So-
size, but he just doesn't really have the aesthetics.
structure.
Like the structure he's blocky.
Mm.
And also his legs, I don't know why he doesn't fix those varicose veins.
I don't know if it's so simple, just with his training and everything, to just go take those out.
Right.
And
don't
honestly, when he was lighter or earlier in his career, he had them, and it didn't affect his placings back then.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think the judges are really caring about that anymore. So maybe it doesn't matter. But it really, with him, it's just a midsection issue, and it's not a fat or even bloated. It's just like, he just
blocky.
has a wide waist.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how he's doing his own prep. If he's like, all right, I need to address, this, and not necessarily try to pose better when he's doing his transitions, not letting his stomach hang out so that you kind of don't see some of those things. I mean, obviously, when he's in poses, like from the back, he wins. He
From
beats a
the
lot
back,
from
the back, he looks the best.
and from the side. Even from his side poses,
Yeah,
beat
he's
a lot of guys.
side-
It's mostly like a couple of
I
his front
think just
abs and thighs, front double.
it's
Those are
just
kind
he
of hard
often
poses
looks
for him.
bloated on the midsection, and then I think his legs could also have more of a dramatic sweep to create that X frame.
You know what it is with him? It's a standing relaxed. When they first line up in that lineup, and he's next to all those guys with that X frame, he just stands out. That's the first impression that everybody gets, the judges and everybody, is when they're standing relaxed in the lineup, he stands out as he doesn't have the X frame. And he's standing next to Hadi, Martin, and Andrew all have a crazy X frame. And he doesn't have that. And that's where he sticks out of the rest of them. So he has to.
He won't beat Hadi. It's like this, like no way.
No, I'm not saying beat Hadi, but I said he's challenging for the top 3.
Right.
I think he has beaten Martin before. Now, but Martin wasn't as good as he is now. So if Martin is 100% on, I don't think so.
Nope.
Someone asked if I think Hadi's going to have problems like Kamali said in Ohio with no, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to physically attack Hadi.
Yeah.
First of all, I think Hadi's going to probably be sequestered to himself the whole time, except maybe he has to go to the meet and greet, I suppose. But I don't know. I just don't.
I don't see anyone attacking him publicly. And when you're at a show, it's like, you don't do nothing. You are at your room. You don't go anywhere. The only time you go anywhere, it's like if you have to be at a meet and greet or a meeting or something. Yeah, but that's got to be a public meeting. They're not going to attack him at a public meeting.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think so. I mean, I would think it'd be pretty wild, and I would imagine the Arnold people probably going to have some security around him, just because of the possibility they don't want any problems.
Yeah,
so they're probably going to have some security around him, and he's going to go from basically probably the meet and greet is his one public appearance. He's not working the Evogen booth, so he's not going to be at the expo probably at all. So he's just going to show up on stage. I don't think anybody's going to see him walking around, out and about. He's going to go from
a host hotel
wherever his room is right to the backstage to stage. So
yeah,
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think so. Now, I will say this. The reason I don't think it's likely that anything's going to happen is because the people that are against him are like these Iranian people from protesters from Iran for the most part. It's not Mossad. Like if Mossad wanted him dead, he would be dead. No matter where he was. Right now, he'd already be dead. So the people that want him, they're not like professional, killers. And I don't know if they really want to do that to him there. Maybe back in Iran, it's going to be different because he's got to live amongst people and be around. But I just don't see anybody sending a professional hit squad to Columbus, Ohio to kill a bodybuilder, even if they don't like him.
And also people, they talk a big game on Instagram. Something different is in real life, and it's going to be in the US. It's not in Iran. So
well, yeah, I said in Iran, I think he has probably real concern for his safety because there's a whole lot of people there that are angry with him.
Yeah.
Right or wrongly.
Right.
But
I think he's gonna be fine at the Arnolds.
Yeah. I think he's just gonna show up on stage and that's probably all we're gonna see is him on stage. And probably after he gets off stage, he's going to go straight back to wherever, he was. He's not going to be like hanging around.
I think he's coming to kick some ass. Like, he's got a lot on the line. Like, he needs to try. He probably feels like he needs to prove himself and, show that he's the champ.
Let's see if we see anything from Brandon Curry. Now, Brandon, he's just, well, look at this. That's pretty freaking good right there. I don't know when this was taken, but that looks pretty. Yeah.
He looks good.
I think he takes 46 right now, and he's been competing for a long time, and it seems like he's getting better. His last couple appearances, he looks better than before. That's pretty.
He's always solid. He always comes with a solid physique.
So, I mean, he has a size. His conditioning is usually like on.
He looks good. I mean, he might.
The only thing Brandon really lacks is. I could see him actually taking as high as 4th if
so who
a
would
couple
he
people
beat?
are off. If Nick is not 100%, he could beat Nick. If I think he can beat Brandao. I think he could go anywhere from 4th or 5th or 6th. So I think he could actually beat Brandao. I would put him again he
could build Brandao. I don't know about the other guys, but I don't think anyone is really gonna come off at the Arnold. I think he will probably be 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that's where I think too. I would put him in 5th. But like I said, if somebody's off, he could push ahead because he's not missing anything.
I think he's always had a bit of a weak legs, like we talked about. Like, he doesn't really have the deep cuts, like they always look a bit smooth, even though they're not.
The legs are bigger than they were, but he's never had separation in his quads. He just doesn't ever have separation in his quads for whatever reason.
And that's what makes them look a bit smooth, even though he's like super on. It's just when you don't have that depth in your legs, it's just they kind of look smooth.
Yeah. Now there's another one that's kind of a.
I've heard that it's metaform.
Huh?
Is the reason I've heard that it's metaform is the reason that he doesn't separate his quads very well.
Okay.
In the legs?
Yeah, his sweep to get his sweep up to.
Now we have that Mofudo guy. Mofudo.
Yeah.
Is it Mohamed? It's Mohamed.
He looks good too. He looks pretty good. He's got a good Mohamed, yeah.
I'm not finding his Instagram though. I saw pictures of him. It must be under him or something.
Let me see.
Mohamed. Yeah, I'm not finding him. I looked under Mo. It's Fuda, right? Fuda, right?
I'm not sure how it's spelled.
It's Mo.Foda.
Okay.
Mo.
Mo.Fuda, right?
Foda.
Foda.
Yeah, the MOH
Here he is.
dot
Got it.
FOOO.
Here he is. Now, let's see what we got here. I don't know when this was taken. I just saw some recent pictures, though. I'm not sure how long this is, but the ones that I saw were crazier than this. This is not the best lighting. Let's see if we can find some better ones. I saw somewhere posted some pictures where he looked pretty wild. Here we go. Let's see what this looks like.
Yeah, that back shot looks pretty good.
Here's a posing video. Now this guy, conditioning and everything, he looks like he should be competing for a top spot. But I have a feeling that he's just not as big as the other guys.
Yeah, I think he comes a little
pretty
short
wild,
on
though.
the
Conditioning
size,
is,
but yeah, he looks good. Symmetrical.
I mean, he looks
Nice
really
shape.
good.
Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to the size thing, how he looks next to the others.
How tall is he? I got a feeling he's real short, but I mean, so is Hadi's real short.
I think he's like average height. I think he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, really?
I can't remember. I think I've seen him next to some like when did he compete? He competed like Tampa Pro, I want to say. He looked like he was like kind of average in the lineup.
Because he looks like he could be a 212 guy.
I think he's too big for that.
Yeah. Well, he looks pretty gnarly in those pictures. I mean, conditioning, fullness. I mean, in this video right here, he looks pretty crazy.
Yep.
So I don't.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
he's gonna be he could be around that mix, depending on like how big he looks to the others. He could be in that 6th, 7th, 8th spot, maybe 6, 7.
I mean, I think he could be as high as I think he could maybe beat Brandao. I think he and maybe beat Brandon. I think he could be high as maybe 5th or 6th,
even 5th. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a picture. Let me see if I still have it. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or. Let me see.
Was it recent?
Yeah, it was like this week. I think it was on my chat where. Let's see. Shoot.
I mean, in this picture, right? I don't know how long ago this was, but
he was looking really nutty.
Yeah, he looks really nutty here.
Yeah.
I guess this was the last time he competed. What show was this? Chicago Pro Show.
Okay.
So that's a while back. So we've got Mohamed Mustafa?
Yeah, Hassan
Mustafa.
He has not been coming in condition, and I think I saw some pics a couple weeks out, and he was like not in condition at all. So
I mean, he's huge. Like, he's got so much size, that guy, but just the conditioning, he hasn't really nailed that. He's never been super peeled. He's been in better condition, but the last shows has been really a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see him.
He got in condition a few years ago, but he hasn't. It's probably been 3 or 4 years since he was like really in good condition.
But he's never been diced though. Like he's been
The
in
problem
good
with
condition.
The problem with him is like his shape really isn't as good. He's got massive arms, but his body is like kind of a
Straight.
square. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit blocky, but damn, the size is impressive.
Yeah, his size is insane. His legs are insane. You know, he's kind of just built like a Franken bodybuilder. He just put a lot of like random parts on somebody. So like any like Instagram, any one shot that's like, you know, you get like a tricep or a bicep or a shoulder, he's like, he wins the Olympia. But then you go to on stage, you see the whole package and it's like, okay, his structure, he doesn't like look well put together.
Yeah.
You've got who else do we have? We have what's his name? Akim Williams. And you have the other Williams that competed last year. Anthony Williams. Now, didn't Anthony Williams win the amateur last year?
Yeah, he was the winner.
And that's where he got the qualification.
So is this his first pro show? Is this his first pro show after he won?
Yeah, I don't think he competed this year because he's qualified for the this one.
He's qualified just based on that he won the amateur last year.
All right.
So here's Anthony Williams. This is kind of, the pictures are kind of dark.
A little hard to see.
Is John Jewett working with him? It looks like John Jewett's helping him out. This is him last year when he won. I just don't think he's at this level yet. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Not to.
Yeah,
he's not at the level to compete in this. You know.
He's a big boy and he looks fantastic, but I just don't know if he's banging at the top of the. I mean, he'll be in there with like Hassan and whoever's in that bottom 8. I don't even know how many guys there are. Is there like 11 guys?
I think there's like around 10. Yeah, something like 10 or 11. Well, you've got. We've gone through everybody except for Akim. So I think there's 10. Yeah. I mean, he's an impressive bodybuilder. He's just not at the level of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's pro level. He's just not top
good,
tier pro level.
Yeah. Not.
I mean, he looks
got a
good.
lot of size though, and his conditioning.
Yeah,
he looks great.
I mean,
right?
I also.
Was this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think so.
The thing is, we just got to see how he stands up next to the top guys in the world. You know?
Yeah.
Because like anybody, he turned pro at the Arnold, which was a pretty, good thing. But then, we're just seeing gym shots where they're just like sucked up in. They got goon lighting. So it's hard to really get a good handle on how he's going to look next to like, some of the guys we mentioned.
I think he's going to lack on size next to the others.
Yeah.
I think
overall
Akim is going to beat him on size.
Yeah, let's pull up Akim Williams. Here's Akim. Let's see if we have anything recent. This was like the last time he competed. I mean,
I think Akim is just he's got atrophy. I think it is his lats, and he's starting to kind of
his
collect
back
surgery.
is
It's so
his back
asymmetrical.
like this side tricep is wild.
Yeah.
I mean, just so much mass and deep separation and everything.
Mhm.
But then the back shots is just where he really misses, especially the back double bicep.
Yeah.
There, that's it right there. That just kills him. His
Did
shoulders.
he have some injuries or?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It looks like he might have had some nerve damage back there because it looks like he got the Ronnie
I feel
syndrome.
like I feel like his back used to be better than that.
Yeah, I don't think it was always like this. But like his lats are like disappear. He's got like disappearing lat syndrome. His shoulders are so much bigger than his lats.
Yeah, they're overpowering.
Yeah, it looks funny almost. If it was just like based on size and conditioning, he's got that for days, but the overall shape of him and like right in this side chest, there's like not really any detail through the chest and the arms and the shoulders. It's kind of smooth. The legs look good from the side.
Yeah.
But the rest, the top, not so much.
I think he's gonna take one of the last places.
Yeah.
Along with the new guy. I like the other Williams. I like his shape and everything. I just think size, he might come short on that.
Yeah. Akim, he has the size and condition. It's just his body just looks like old. You know what I mean? I don't know what other way to say it. It's
he also doesn't really have the deep separation.
Yeah. So he's probably looking at it like a 7th through 10th, something like that. So I think we pretty much went over the open.
Yeah,
class.
I think we should go to classic.
Let's look at classic. So classic. Classic, we've got Mike Sommerfeld. Obviously, he's the favorite. Am I spelling his name wrong?
I think it's Somm. I think it's Mike the Badass.
Yeah, that's the one.
Here it is. I've got it. It's right here. So here's Mike Sommerfeld. Let's see if we have something current. I know I've seen current pictures. Like, I think maybe this is current. Well, this is. I know Leo's been training with him at that one of the. Which gym is that in Vegas? That new gym in Vegas. I think they're training over there.
I actually saw some really cool training footage of Wesley and Mike training together in the US. Maybe is that those? That was some on Wesley's page where they were training together, Wesley and Mike. They were really cool.
Was that recently?
Yeah. I saw them just today on Wesley's page. Like that was one of them I saw. That poster was also on Wesley's.
In this one picture, Wesley looks so much bigger than him, but
But
Wesley's quite a bit bigger.
He's a big guy, tall also, yeah.
Mike has the legs, though. I mean, he's got wild legs.
He's got nice
and
legs.
I think he's having to come in lighter than he did previously, but I don't think it's affecting him all that much. So I think he's definitely the favorite. They're really matching it up between them. Wesley is a lot bigger.
Yeah, he's a big dude. I mean, he's also taller. They both look good.
Oh, Wesley's like, yeah.
It's gonna be between them two.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably 1 and 2.
That would be my guess. I think it's gonna be Mike who takes it.
Yeah, I just think Mike.
I mean, Wesley,
I think Mike is
2024, but you know, Mike is just right there, almost winning the Olympia 2 years ago, almost winning it last year. So he's kind of the like top guy in the division besides Mr. Olympia right now.
Yeah, and he just keeps improving.
So let's look at Wesley Vissers. See if I can pull him up. Vissers. Here he is. Let's see. I don't know if there's.
Yeah, most
muscular.
That most muscular is sick. One there in
Which
the
one
middle.
are you looking at? And this one right
The
here.
one in the middle. Yeah, the top one in the middle. Like that's sick. Look at how his delts tie into his arm and just the type of definition.
He's definitely shredded.
Yep.
I mean,
you can see every
his
single
conditioning
fiber
is-
in his delts.
Yep. He's really tall. I don't know how tall he sort of reminds me of a Lou Ferrigno kind of physique.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know he's as tall as that. But his shape.
He looks like he's more than 6 foot, like maybe 6'2" or something.
Yeah. No, he's tall. And see, this is where I think it hurts him. His waist is like long versus it's not as V-shaped as Mike's.
Well, that's how it
he's
is
got this,
often with the tall guys. They have a bit of a taller torso as well. I mean, Mike has a very short torso.
Yeah, he's just got a long waist right there going on. So I think that's kind of hurts it. But I think he's probably good for second. And I don't see him beating Mike. No way. Who else do we got in this lineup in the classic?
There's some other pretty good guys. There's the guy from Italy. I don't know their names. It starts with an M. His last name starts with an M. And then there's another guy. What's his name? Oh, fucking Kid or something like that.
I got the list right here.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Let me see.
Kim. I mean, that guy gets ridiculously peeled. And then Andrea Mamali. I mean, he's looking nuts also. So those will probably be like the top 4. And then the big thing is where's Sam Sulek gonna land?
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. How Seb Sulek he's gonna look there. I saw there was like a picture on his Instagram. I think it was even like some weeks ago, and he already had striated glutes like 4 weeks out.
You're talking about Andrea Mamali?
No, Sam Sulek.
Oh, Sam Sulek.
Luke, yeah, Luke just mentioned him, so I just had a side remark on that.
Well, Sam is looking pretty good. Let's pull up Sam Sulek.
He looks insane right now. I mean, shredded, but he just doesn't have the structure that these other guys have.
Yeah. I also think he needs more maturity in his physique. I mean, obviously he's young, but I mean, he's shredded.
His leg looks good in that photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, he's peeled.
I mean,
He's
at
that side leg. I mean,
there's some videos of him like posing. I don't know where, it must be on his YouTube or something, but this is one I think me and Leo were talking about. He was saying that, oh, Sam's got great structure, and I'm like, all right, Leo.
No.
He was trying to stand up for his structure, thinking he's going to be like top 3 or something. And I'm like, sorry,
no.
He doesn't have structurally. He doesn't have it to stand next to Wesley and.
I mean, it's both structure, maturity. I mean, even size. Like some of the guys at the top, like Mike is like insane. Like when he poses, like he's back. He still has a ways to go, but I don't know how much ways he can go because he doesn't have quite the structure. But I mean, impressive at his age, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever climb to be the top of the world structurally. It's just, it's like saying some of these other guys, like bodybuilding is 100% your structure and your, like he's got the work ethic. He's got all the other, he can get lean, but like, you're not going to be climbing the Olympia ladder if you can get peeled. That doesn't really matter much. How well you're put together is the only thing that matters.
Right.
You got to give him credit. He was like just an influencer guy, and he came and won his first show. And I don't think he's at the caliber to really be competing at this level.
Well, he got the ticket because he won the Arnold.
He won the Arnold Amateur. So
yeah,
he's in here just like Anthony Williams. But he's doing the best he can with what he's got, and it's pretty damn good. This is another level of the best in the world. So
yeah, and also he's super young. What is he, like 23, 25?
I want to say he's probably like 23.
Yeah.
Because he was a teenager just not that long ago.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's really good for that age.
I mean, he's done a lot for what he has.
Also, every year, I mean, it's not that many years that he was like, just like you said, small influencer. Just didn't have that much, he's really improved a lot, like every year.
Yeah, I mean, he's managed to come conditioned. I mean, his conditioning and size is really good. Just he doesn't have that classic. I don't think he has the classic physique proportion to be competing at this level.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever will. It just genetically, I mean, maybe one day he could compete as an open guy if he got bigger.
Yeah, I think he might do better in the open.
Yeah. I think he's just doing classic right now because
that's his size.
I mean, if he gets big enough, I mean, Nick also doesn't really have it structurally, but so if Sam gets as big as Nick, he'll be another Nick.
Someone said I'm pissing on Sam's cornflakes before he's even competed. I'm not pissing on him. I just said I think he's doing great for where he's at in his career, but he's just, this is the top best in the world.
Yeah.
And
It's
going
just,
right from,
bodybuilding is just a lot of structure. It's just really like how you put together. It's like when you're putting muscle on a frame, like you have to be pretty much perfect. Like, you know, if an athlete comes and they have too long torso, it's not going to look good. If they have too short arms, it's not going to look good. It's just such an unforgiving sport in the terms of like how you put together. Like you can put all the muscle on in the world you want, but if you have the wrong proportions, it's game over. You can compete and maybe you will be a good, like top, I don't know, maybe if you really like get it like Nick. I mean, I think Nick is making really the most out of his physique. Like even like, I mean, he won Pittsburgh. I never thought he would have, but he did, you know, like, I mean, sometimes you can also say like, sometimes work ethic outworks talent. And that's what we talked about earlier. If somebody always had the genetics, it was easy for them, they just looked good, they didn't have to do all that to get in shape. That's not creating always the hardworking mentality. You know, somebody who really has their genetics against them, maybe a bit too wide waist, maybe this or that. And they're like, you know, I got to learn everything about peptides. I got to learn everything about dieting. I got to learn everything about how to bulk and put on mass. And they try to, you know, they're hungry. They work with this person. They try to learn here. They try to learn from a lot of people and suck it all up. You know, those kind of people, like Nick is one of those people. Like he learns about everything, you know, and really maximizes everything to his opportunity. So it's like you like hard work does outwork talent if talent is not really doing something with it.
Yeah.
that's true to a point, but being that he is at the level he is right now, I mean, if he didn't win the Arnold Amateur, he would not be in this show.
Yeah, of course. But also,
wouldn't-
I mean, the dude is 23. He's competing with people
Right.
who have trained maybe like 10 years more than him, or like Brandon, like how many years has he not trained? So I think also, you said it also, he's doing good for where he is, but he's just not there yet where he can really make an impact.
No, and that's just the way it is, you know. You know, in another 10 years, you know, who knows? He puts on a lot more size. He might be a good open competitor. I mean, he's going in the right direction, but he's not ready for. He's not ready at this time to be competitive in the classic at the Arnold. It's just it's just not. It's too soon. But you know what? I think just him being on the stage, it's going to increase his popularity, you know, with his fan base, just being there. Period.
Yeah, for sure. And if you love competing, you should compete. And, you know, especially if you haven't competed very much, you need that stage experience.
Leo isn't on because he's already flying to Columbus right now. So he's en route to Columbus as we speak. So I think we pretty much covered everybody in the Arnold coming up.
Yeah.
I know we've put up some questions for people to answer. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to keep up with it between going back and forth with the Instagram pictures. Did you guys notice we have questions in the chat?
There are some questions.
I know we had a poll in there. I'm not sure if you can see. I know there was questions, but I didn't. Let me go back and see if I can find. I think
there were some questions earlier on.
Let's see,
guys. If you have questions now is the time. Shoot them off.
Yeah. Let's
Like there's
Any
been
questions you
before
guys
where,
have, training, whatever.
yeah, it's been before, like in the middle of the podcast, people will be like, why are you not answering questions? Well, we always do it at the end. So now we are at the end. So if you have any last questions.
Let's see.
I think in the beginning there was some questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back and see. Tell me, is a bodybuilding secret? Honestly, I don't know if there is any bodybuilding secrets. It's only a secret if you don't know it. There's definitely things that people don't know, but I don't know about secrets.
I mean, people always like wanna like try and do as if there's like a golden nugget or there's a key, or oh, the pros they're doing something, like nah. I mean, it's like, I think mostly like knowing your own body and how it responds, and just putting yourself into knowledge about really everything regarding training, diet, if you want to do hormones, like really reading up on it, listening to YouTube of qualified people. Just, I think knowledge is your greatest weapon. And then regardless, if you want to compete, or even if you want to compete and you don't have the greatest genetics, everyone can improve and everybody can enjoy the sport. Not everybody is going to be Mr. Olympia, but you know what? I worked with a lot of clients that they were just happy seeing the best version of themselves. And I think that's what it is about.
Well, there is definitely genetic component to this. And, without the right genetics, you're not going to make it to Olympia level. But there goes back to, how do you know what your genetic capability is until you actually try?
Yeah.
You don't really know how your body's going to respond.
Somebody said
probably
the secret is trend, and they might have meant that as a meme, but I think a lot of people really believe that. Man, the top bodybuilders in the world, they could beat anyone in this chat with fucking 50 milligrams of test.
Trend.
The top bodybuilders in the world don't need trend. I mean, yeah, they take it, but that's not the game changer. The parents they chose is the game changer in how far they went in bodybuilding. It's not trenbolone. It's not growth hormone. It's, any androgens at all, and they had hyper response to the steroids, and they grew like crazy because of their genetics. That's all of it. That's the only deciding factor in.
Look, Andrew Jackson, perfect example of that. The guy was just a gym dude, and someone said, "Hey, you should compete." And here we go. It's 5 years later, he's like competing for the top spots in the world.
And we can also mention Phil Heath. It was actually Jay Cutler that discovered Phil Heath, and he was just playing basketball then. And he was like, hey, you got great genetics. He actually mentored Phil Heath, and Phil Heath went on to win the Olympia like years later.
Yeah.
But, if you got the genetics, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. And
someone said,
Phil was a guy that, like, go ahead.
Oh, someone said, do you think skinny kids or fat kids have a better ability to get jacked? I think that there's some people, when you give them steroids, they're just hyper responders to steroids. And some people are fat, like Evan Senapani was a little fat kid. And, I can't think of anyone on top of my head that was like super skinny, just couldn't gain any size, put on steroids and blew up. But Dexter Jackson, yeah, he would turn pro at bantamweight. So, there's both ends of the spectrum, and it really just comes down to somehow the genetics. I mean, the best ability to get jacked is going to be the mesomorphs, the people that automatically do put on muscle easily, like an endomorph, but stay lean like an ectomorph. So I don't know if there's really one way or the other. I mean, probably to get jacked,
I will say something.
be able to do it better because they can gain the muscle easier than an ectomorph. But they have to get peeled then.
There's something else to consider too. Okay. I started training at 12, won my first show at 16. At 18, I competed with Sean Ray. I can tell you right now that he was 19, I was 18. I was bigger than him. I was just as conditioned as him, but I did not look like him.
Mm-hmm.
I had just as much muscle as he did and a bigger frame and conditioning. I was just as conditioned as him, but I did not look like him because he had this round shape to his muscles and these little tiny joints that made him look 50 pounds bigger than he was.
Mm-hmm.
Always. So that's a genetic thing that, it's not just about responding to steroids, because I was bigger than Sean and just as shredded, but I did not look like Sean because he just had. Sean stood next to Dorian Yates and went toe to toe, and Dorian outweighed him by 50 pounds at least, maybe more. But Sean had that shape. He has little tiny joints and this shape that just made him look, way bigger than he was. And that is a genetic thing that, either you got that or you don't got that. It's just, there's nothing you can do about that. There's a lot of people that, they might have gotten just as shredded and just as big as everybody else, but they just don't have the shape to be a Olympia level pro.
Yeah, I mean, even guys that do have Olympia level pros that don't have the shape. Like look at like a Marcus Rule. He just got so fucking big, but he did not have the shape to overcome guys like Kevin, guys like Flex, guys like I guess in his time it would have been Flex and
Sean Ray.
Like early 2000s. No, this is like the early 2000s, like Jay's time. So he was, he was like middle of. I see him kind of in the same sense I see Nick now. I see Nick as like a goaltender. Like he's blocking the guys that are like below sixth place from getting up into the top five. Like they can't really overcome. They can't really overcome Nick because they can't jump into that top five.
I also think it's wrong to say that athletes like Marcus Rule or Nick or other that they don't have the genetics. You can say they don't have maybe the most beneficial structure, but genetics is many things. Like, I mean, Nick obviously has the genetic for building size, and also Marcus Rule. They had huge genetics for building size, but they just didn't have the best structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's not been many bodybuilders that were bigger than Marcus Rule. That's a huge genetic talent for building size. So I think that's a little like misleading to saying, they just don't have the genetics. I think also people shouldn't be discouraged just because maybe they don't have the smallest waist or whatever. I mean, Jay said before, I didn't really have the genetics. I disagree. But he said
was
that.
Pretty good. I mean, you look at him in like 2001 before he really started pushing. He started having to chase Ronnie, so he kind of pushed his size to get more blocky. But like in that Arnold 2001, he was, he had a good structure.
But he said that several times. I don't know why he would say that. I think he had. I mean, he was the Mr. Olympia. I think he had the genetics. Yeah, he had a bit wider waist, but I mean. I think everyone should go for it if they want to.
The other thing we touched on a couple of times is having the work ethic to do it. I mean, maybe Jay didn't have the genetics of Kevin Levrone, but he did have the work ethic of Jay Cutler. He, aside from doing professional bodybuilding at the highest level, he also became like a multimillionaire because he was he was doing jobs while he was even bodybuilding. So he's just like a hyper worker, so right. That's one thing that could really be like a game changer. Like maybe you don't have the perfect genetics, but you do have the work ethic that puts you like at a level where you're able to compete with those guys
that will put you ahead. And especially, I mean, yeah, if you have a genetic gifted athlete that has a really crazy work ethic, yeah, they will win. But if you have not the best genetics but a crazy work ethic, you can definitely get up there and especially get an edge when the other ones are relaxing.
So
there was a question here: what supplements to increase libido and testosterone? Would you guys say to Osterine?
I've never taken that, so I couldn't tell you. I do know that if you take boron, I take 6 milligrams twice a day, and my free testosterone is off the charts compared, like my last total testosterone was like 900 something, and my free testosterone was like 500.
Okay. Have you ever used Osterine, Luke?
I actually been using it right now for the first time ever. My first time ever, 12.5 milligrams. And, but I'm only using it on training days. And I'm not even on all training days, only on certain ones, only on like ones where I really want to push hard. I've been using Anavar and then also Osterine.
Right. How long have you been using it?
So I used it for about 2 weeks straight, and then my appetite just hit a wall. And then I was like, all right, I have to just pepper this in for myself because of that. But when I was using it for those 2 weeks straight, I mean, I got too strong too fast. I tore my calf on a leg press because I was just like, I went from like, you know, leg pressing like hardly anything to I was squatting 4 plates for sets of 10 in like 3 weeks.
Damn.
Well,
I'm using. Yeah.
Well, I was also on Anavar, so I mean, I can't say, but I mean, I think they're both working in conjunction.
I've been using it for years on my natty male athletes.
Yeah.
And it's like really effective. Like everybody has had good results.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I mean, I never used it myself, but you know, women have to be a little careful. I mean, I don't obviously.
But
take other stuff.
You said they asked about increasing libido. Did you find Osterine does that? Because it's not an androgen, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a SARM, but I mean, I think SARMs they're pretty androgenic. They have androgenic effect.
Really? It has an androgenic effect. That's why it's like it's not advised for women to take it. But I say if women want to say they don't want to go the gear route, I think Osterine is like you can use that also as a female with good results.
I think you could still get guys still get suppression, and I think girls will still get androgenic side effects from doing those. I think it's still
I think it's less though than if you use a.
They're kind of like Anavar almost.
It's sort of like in the mild department.
High anabolic, low androgenic.
Yeah.
So is Osterine more like a prohormone?
No, it's
no, it's a SARM.
It's
just
a SARM.
One of the SARMs that came out 10 years ago.
I think you should try it, Larry. Huh? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've never tried it because I just figured it was like, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they're pretty potent. I've known a lot of like bikini girls and stuff that have just competed on those and not even ran Primo or Anavar. So, and like even up to like figure.
And also like
as far as increasing libido, this may sound weird, but for whatever reason, GH does something to me physically that I know there's a difference on the days that I take it and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say why it is, but I know that on days that I take GH at night before I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning with an erection. And I don't when I'm not taking it. So I have no idea why that's happening.
Maybe they're putting HCG in your
no, it's real GH, 100%. But
maybe there's a little testo in there.
Yeah. So
no, because the test doesn't do that to me. They're just the GH does. And I don't know what it is.
Natural things that I've noticed when I use them in conjunction with like the cycles that I've been taking is boron. It frees more of your bound testosterone. Zinc also. That supplement that
ZMA is a good start.
yeah, zinc. Yeah, the ZMA also I did notice from that. That supplement that Dave makes, the Testalize, it has like it has some sort of a indo-3-carbinol which binds to estrogen and it lowers your estrogen.
I'm actually using that one right now. The test.
You are?
Yeah. I
noticed,
just got it and I want to try it out. So I've just been taking it like for a week.
Yeah. It smells like dog food, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's nuts. I don't know, chemical dog food maybe.
Yeah. So I use that when I'm bridging my guys if they're off steroids or if they're just on TRT. I'll use that instead of using like an AI with them. Throughout like a PCT or an off when they're off completely. I like to use that one. Just taking the daily Cialis, 5 milligrams of daily Cialis, that'll, if you're got a little extra lead in your pencil, you're probably thinking about like, oh shit, so that's going to give you higher libido. And then
I've been using the Cialis as a pre-workout.
Yeah. How many milligrams?
I use 10 milligrams pre-workout.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get some more pump.
Yeah.
It works for me.
That was one of John Meadows's things, was using Cialis as a pre-workout supplement. And then I can't remember what else he used. It was like vitamin C. He had like a whole stack that was like really, really pumping.
I'm so sensitive to stimulants, and I'm like, I don't get good sleep. I really have to take it early if I do a stim pre-workout. So what I like to do is, if I really want a nice pump, I do about 1 milligram of sodium in my water. Then I'll do a non-stim pre-workout. Yeah. And then I'll do a Cialis. I don't remember how many milligrams my tabs are. I travel a lot, so I squeeze them all out in all my fucking supplements. They look like like this.
No one's ever going to catch what they are.
No,
somebody just said in the chat that even 5 milligrams stuffs up their nose and their lower back. So I was really susceptible to that as well. But if you just keep using it, your body will kind of adapt to that, and that'll actually go away. So it took me maybe 2 weeks, and then I just was getting the benefits from the.
I'd say just start with less. Do like a half, or
he's doing 5 milligrams, which is like the low dose, because like the therapeutic, like the tablets come in 20 milligrams, so that's the 5 milligram is the daily dose that the doctors can give.
But some people are more sensitive than others. I always say, like, if you have side effect, start with a lower, and then when you feel like that's fine, you can up the dose.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this: I got that side effect from Viagra, the stuffy nose and that headache and all that stuff.
Flush.
But I never had it from Cialis, and I never had it from Levitra.
I never tried Levitra, but that's interesting.
Levitra I can tell you right now, in my opinion, in my experience, Levitra is by far superior to Cialis and Viagra. It hits right away, and it works much better. But I use it. If you use a combination of Cialis and Levitra, that's like the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 10 milligrams of. I use 10 milligrams of Cialis and 20 of Levitra, and I'm good to go.
Did we get all the questions?
People were chatting a bunch.
There was one thing I want to mention. Yeah. Somebody last year, somebody told me there's a form of zinc. It's like a bioavailable form of zinc, and there's only like a couple of companies that make it. But I've been using that, and it does seem to help. And it's not regular zinc. I have to pull up. I actually have the bottle. Maybe I should run and get it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a specific type of zinc that they make, and let's see.
Somebody says zinc carnosine is the best.
That's it.
Was that the one?
That's it.
That was the
That's the one I'm talking about. Yep. It's zinc carnosine. And I get mine from All Star Health, but they also sell it on Amazon. It's just cheaper from All Star Health. And for some reason, that's better. It's more bioavailable form of zinc. So I would recommend getting that one. I've been using it for about a year now, actually. Yeah, I got it. Someone told me about it at the Arnold Classic last year, and I've been using it for a year. So that's pretty good. All right. Any other questions we have before we wrap it up?
Did we miss anything? Write them again.
Let me see. Looking back.
Show the zinc. What about long jack? I know that long jack and tribulus and all those can like boost testosterone production. I think I've heard that they only do like free testosterone, and it's not or so they only do bound testosterone. It's not free, which I guess you could take the boron to help free it. So I think those things work. I mean, I think that Dave Palumbo has a couple of those in his Testalize. So they definitely do something. They're like natural testosterone boosters in your body. So I think you can't just keep using it. I think you kind of have to like cycle it, because I think your body just gets used to it and then just goes back to baseline fairly quickly.
Okay. Did we have anybody answer this prediction things? I can't tell, because I can't go on YouTube while I'm on this, I don't think.
Somebody said Trestolone plus Ment combo question if you want. Well, Trestolone is Ment, so
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Somebody asked about if you have the upper body and you want to build the lower body. I think often, if you lack something, I think often it's a connection. Like your mind-muscle connection is not really developed in that area. Of course, it's also genetically, like we all have body parts that are better than others. Everybody has their gifts and talents. But I think like what I've as a trainer discovered many times is like that body part that's lacking is not being activated properly. So I'd say if you don't have the legs, sometimes it could be a lack of volume, and sometimes it could be also too much volume. It's very complex to answer, because it's about what you've done, what you tried out. And for some people, it's so individual. Some people respond better to more volume. Some people respond better to less volume. Maybe you are overtraining. Maybe you're undertraining. Maybe you don't really have the mind-muscle connection well.
I think a lot of people would respond better to more volume with intention, because we see these wellness girls training lower, 3 times a week, and they're fucking massive on the bottom. And then they train upper 1 time a week, and they're not big on the bottom. And then we see the opposite. We see men's physique guys, arms, back, shoulders, chest, shoulders, chest, no fucking legs. So maybe they're doing legs once a week, but they're doing like arms and chest and shoulders 3 times a week. So I think what you put your effort in and what you put your emphasis in is gonna grow to some degree. I mean, I think it's gonna suck, because when you're a high level of strength and you're doing legs on Mondays and Wednesdays like I am right now, it fucking sucks. Like my CNS fatigue is shitty. My legs going into the workout are already sore, and I'm like, well, just got to suck it up, So I think that increasing the volume is a really effective way.
I think also a lot of people have a misconception of how much they should do.
Legs, you're squatting incorrectly and you're doing stuff wrong, then that's the reason your legs aren't going to be the same size. So, but also like a lot of reason I think guys' legs are smaller is they're just hard to fucking train. People, they train shoulders, upper, so it's easy, it's fun. And then like, oh, this week, man, I got to go out of town this week. I'm going to skip my leg day. And then you do that once a month, and you're already at like, 50 less or 30 less leg workouts a year.
I think for most people, it's simply this: legs is the hardest thing to train.
Yeah,
it just is.
Suck it up. Just suck it up.
And for most people, you know, it's just hard. And
Yeah.
most people don't want to do those hard things. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not training legs this week. I'm skipping it.
Yeah.
Because
On a
I'm going
flight,
to the Arnold.
flying over there.
And I know if I train my legs this
You
week,
do not want to walk around being sore,
and I'm going to get on that damn airplane for freaking, you know, all those hours, walking through airports, doing all that shit, and then having to walk around the Arnold. My life's going to suck.
Yeah.
So just because I'm going to the Arnold, I just decided I'm not training legs this week.
I think also a lot of
go ahead.
A lot of people have a misconception about how much they need to train legs. Like, you know, you'll hear people say, oh, you know, I'm doing 16 to 20 sets for shoulders. And then for legs, you know, they'll do like 3 exercises, you know, like it's just,
true.
I mean, if you think you're going to train 20 sets for shoulders, then what do you think you got to train for your legs?
True.
Like the legs are like so many times bigger. It's half your body. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you're doing anything less than 20 sets, I'm like, you're not training legs.
This guy, the T-Pal, he's got a couple of comments in here. One, he says, Propecia kills my libido, but I want my hair. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do now. Taking copper peptide, just using minoxidil topical. You know, just because the oral Propecia is like the easiest thing to do, there's a lot of things you can do to still be able to use your dick and have hair. And then he also said
blocks DHT, and without DHT, you're not going to have libido. Period.
Yeah, that's he said that's what he was like alluding to. He said, "What's a quality brand supplement?" I'm not sure if you mean like for vitamins or whatever, but like a lot of times, personally, I like to use the Life Extension is one brand that I use for just like generic supplements, you know, whatever I'm buying, like if it's vitamin D and K2 and stuff. And then there's what's the other one? It's like a white label.
I love Morphogen.
No,
Morphogen has a really
they do like
supplements.
commodity supplements, like all the like vitamin D
vitamins and stuff,
like selenium and all that stuff.
They have a lot of specialty supplements.
When it comes to regular
but they're more
vitamins,
of a supplement.
I just go with now
they're more like a
they're reliable,
brand, right?
Huh?
They're more of a sports supplement brand, right? Yeah. Pure Encapsulations is another one that I use. That if you're just trying to buy like generic supplements.
Somebody asked, "Do I get lipomas? Those bumps in your abs from lean?" No, I do not. I never have.
Somebody
you know
said
what
I
makes
asked a legit
lumps
question on. Sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
What makes lumps is if you inject insulin in the same place subcutaneously, you will grow fat right where you put it. That's a fact. I learned that by accident. I was injecting it in my obliques, and all of a sudden I started getting fat obliques. So I don't put insulin there. I put it like in my upper quad where there's like hardly any fat at all. But even there, it made a little bit of fat. But I've never had lumps.
Somebody's got a steroid question.
We ditched a legit question. I don't know what it is.
Sorry, that was moving so fast. Like it was going fast.
Maybe it's the Ment.
I mean, we are getting a lot of comments.
Somebody asked about Ment, Trestolone.
Here's a Trestolone question. Tried Trestolone and got high estrogen sides. Upper AI did bloods estradiol too much, lower, but estrogen sides still there. Do you guys think Trestolone plus Drostanolone will help offset the sides? No, I think Trestolone.
I would just tell you like this. I tried Trestolone when it came out. I got it from Tony Hughes' company. What was it called? But whatever it was. Actually, what's his name? The powerlifter, Chris, told me to get it. I hated that stuff. It just made me like a watery, bloated mess immediately. I didn't feel like I even tried going higher on the dosage. I didn't get that much stronger from it. Maybe a little bit, but not really. Let me put it this way. I didn't get anything out of it that I don't get out of nandrolone, but I was just like full of water.
Yeah.
And and some people like being full of water. I mean, they like that. I don't know. But for me, it didn't increase my strength. It just felt uncomfortable and bloated. I don't like that. And I don't like Dianabol. Though both those things convert to a type of estrogen that's stronger than any other estrogen. I forget what it's called.
Well, I think Dianabol converts to like methyl estrogen because it's
right. Well, so does Trustolone. Those two things create that type of estrogen that's like the strongest type of estrogen. And
wouldn't an Arimidex eliminate that?
No, not with the Trustolone, because I think that it's already a like nandrolone and it's already kind of a cousin of testosterone. The same for Dianabol, maybe, but an AI might slow its conversion to estrogen. But I mean, just create a smarter cycle. It sounds like you might be sensitive to nandrolone nandrolone. Trustolone is a nandrolone analog. Don't use nortestosterones. I don't use them. They're fucking. That's not true. I tried NPP and I hated it. I'm back on Primo and I'm fucking everything's working. Well, great.
I do great with NPP, but I don't like Trustolone. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on how your body reacts to it. Methylated estradiol. That's what it does.
The best way to restore fatty acids in the blood when completely depleted. I'm guessing you mean HDL, omega-3s.
Yeah.
Keep your omega-6s low and do omega-3s. Add omega-3s, fish oils.
Sorry, guys. I have an appointment, so I gotta jump.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Oh, good. I gotta eat anyway, so we're coming up on 2 hours.
All right. Thanks, guys. I will try to bring as much coverage as I can from the Arnold. And for next week, you can put your questions in the comments and we will see you next week. And like I said, I'll be reporting from the Arnold live as best as I can while I'm there.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.
Thanks.
I